Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Count the Cost podcast. I got a special guest for y'all, my man Shaq Anthony. Say what's up to everybody.
What's up, everybody?
So the great thing about our podcast is we like to bring people in, hear their story, have real conversation, and then end with one question that they can ask me. Because this podcast is moving in a way where we're having a lot of individuals in the Grand Rapids community come and be real, raw, and transparent, we want to keep that motivation up. So if that is you, make sure you go hit me up on my Facebook page, Instagram, etc. Want to invite you to the couch, okay, or to the chair. All right, so Mr. Shaq, also known as Dr. Shaq, you know, my man got his PhD, worked hard for that. Dr. Shaq, tell us about yourself.
Oh, yeah, man. So, Muskegon Heights resident, born and raised. A lot of people think I'm from Grand Rapids. I'm definitely not. From the south side of Muskegon Heights. Yes.
I didn't know that. See, I thought.
Yeah, nah.
But now I know.
Yeah, nah, it's not that.
Okay.
So, and I'm a tiger, not a big red. Don't confuse it. It's, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Orange and black. Okay. Yeah, from Muskegon Heights, man, born and raised, live around here in the neighborhood, you know.
Now, when you say the neighborhood, what neighborhood we talking about?
We talking about this neighborhood right here. We sitting in.
Yeah, what
Madison Square.
There we go, Madison Square.
You know, live in the Madison Square neighborhood, man. Fortunate to work for Corewell Health, lead the strategy for culture for the entire enterprise. So all 70,000 employees.
How many?
70,000.
He said 7,000.
70.
Ooh, okay. We're gonna talk about that. That's ooh. Okay.
It sounds crazy out loud, but it's a really good job. I love what I get to do, man. Got a beautiful wife named Kaylin. You know, girl dad.
Shout out to all girl dads.
Yeah,
you know.
We hold on, pray for us, cause it's a lot.
We're gonna cover that.
7, about to be 8. Yeah,
18. 7 going on 18.
Listen, okay.
So Dr. Shaq, you talked about not just being from this community, but the job that you have. Can you, not only for like myself, but for our viewers, like break down like what do you do and like what impact do you make in your job?
Yeah, so my official title is I'm a lead organizational development specialist. So in layman's terms, right, my job is centered around making the organization better internally for our employees, which then translates to the patients that we serve. And so when I say I lead the culture strategy, I am responsible basically for what it feels like to work there, right? And so bridging several gaps between like culture, DEI, learning, right? All these different areas, and really all these different areas that make up the organization and what it feels like to be a part. So definitely no day is the same. No day is ever the same. It's, you know, very much so whatever's on my calendar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
But essentially, man, the impact of my work is, you know, like I said, it translates to every employee. But that, like, it's crazy because when I think about my job, like, I lead the strategy for 70,000 people, but understanding that strategy affects over 500,000 patients. You know what I'm saying? Like the impact is crazy because it's like, yes, we create a great culture and a great experience for those that work in the organization. But if we create a great employee experience, we'll create great patient experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
so
real.
the work translates so much greater than even what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I think about it, I just be overwhelmed a little bit with gratitude in a good way.
Yeah,
right? Like I said, there's a difference between having to do something and getting to do something, and I know that I get to do it.
Can you say that one more time?
So there's a difference between having to do something and getting to do something, right?
Facts.
Like I get to do this. I don't approach my work like, oh man, I gotta do this today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think that's also what keeps me grounded too. It's a level of humility that comes with it that keeps you centered. You know what I'm saying? Like understanding that the work is bigger than yourself, bigger than you. Right, it ain't just about Shaq showing up and I lead this. Like, nah, like the employee experience that is created here could be the difference between life and death for a child, for, you know what I'm saying, somebody, grandparents. Like, you know, we want people to come to Corewell and have a great experience. So
yeah, so it's dope that you even have that type of mindset, because many people that I encounter and you ask them about what they're doing, their job and stuff, they say they have to do stuff, right? So I love the fact that you have a shift in mindset to say you get to do these things. and it's bigger than you. So speaking of that, like, tell us what made you get into this work? Like, why this type of work?
Oh man, it's crazy because I didn't know I was getting myself into it. It just fell on me. You know what I'm saying? Like my first big boy job out of college was at Job Corps.
Okay.
And learned what was I? Career development specialist. And I was tasked with helping at-risk, right, students and youth to prepare for life and career after program, right? And not knowing that informally I was being thrown into an organization where we would have to shift the culture,
right,
and develop a culture of growth and development. You know what I'm saying? That was beyond what had historically been done. You know, at this time, the cost of living in Grand Rapids is starting to skyrocket. These students exit out of the program but don't have a plan. So that takes a shift in how leadership thinks about the program, right? And so that was my first big boy job. And then from there, I went to Link, and Link is where it all popped for me. That's where everything went crazy. Like when I got to Link, my whole career changed. And even with that, building this culture around access, equity, and advocacy when it comes to employment, especially for people in this neighborhood, right? The Madison Square neighborhood, the average median income is a little under $30,000 a year, right? And so this will make it crazy because this pre-pandemic,
right?
I'm telling people, you know, employers, hey, y'all should come hire from the neighborhood. Right. From the communities. You know what I'm saying? That's an untapped pipeline. We'll train and development. I built a whole training framework, training program called Workshop Wednesdays. We talked about the interview process, resume building, cover letter building, soft skills, hard skills, right? All that stuff, right? I'm going nuts. Right? Like I'm in my zone, right? I had a blank canvas, so I was creating, and I was telling all these employers and all these organizations, like, y'all need to come hire from here. It was a struggle. Some did, and I was challenging them to switch up their hiring practices, and also to examine their practices to make sure that they're equitable. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like, what we gonna do about, like, we got to be creative about transportation. Now, fast forward a few years later, COVID hit. Not everybody want to come hire from the neighborhood. Yep. Everybody, Amazon, everybody wants to do what I have been saying since 2017. Wow. Crazy, right? And so that, again, that led to Spectrum Health, where, you know, again, helping them expand and diversify their talent pipelines and building a culture around, again, access and equity. Then went to Spartan Nash to do some great DEI work, help roll out the people first culture stuff, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Stand up a internship program, and, you know, did some great stuff. Went from there to Calvin, curating the culture of collaboration. You know how institutions can be large institutions or larger institutions, but very siloed. So how do we break down those barriers? And then this opportunity fell in my lap. So I've been in this space for a minute. I just didn't know, like, that's what I was doing, right? Until I stopped and thought about it. So it's a very interesting career path. I'm super grateful, though. Like, I actually enjoy what I get to do. You know what I'm saying? And I think for people who struggle with their employment or struggle with their jobs, I challenge them to look at it differently. Like, you know, and for some people, it ain't no joy in it. Like, so I encourage you to go do something that you find joy in. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta go if you gotta go.
But I also think it's a perspective shift in that you gotta find the purpose and passion in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta find that center point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, I was talking to some people about, like, working in hospitals and things like that. I'm like, you know, some people look at their job like, oh, I just clean hospitals. Like, I clean the floors and change the bed. But, like, real talk, bro, what you really doing is keeping us operational. I tell people all the time, I'm in corporate. They're the real superheroes. Like, you cleaning a room, you are the difference between whether we can serve somebody or not. Yep. You the real superhero. So, like, even making that connection for people to understand how purposeful their work is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You approach it different when you understand that.
Wow. So, again, thank you for, I think, encouraging people, and he hasn't probably directly said this, but encouraging people to look at things differently, because that's something we can control. Absolutely. Because I feel like in today's economy, we feel like everything is out of our control, right? The inflation, politics. There's so many things that's impacting us at different levels where we like, damn, we don't control nothing.
Yeah.
But we do control how we choose to look at things.
Oh, absolutely.
How we choose to heal from things. So
Yes.
there's a lot of control and things like that. But then there's also this, awareness that we should be able to center ourselves in and looking backwards, right? So in the spirit of looking backwards, right, is a lot of these things are in you. But try to think back to like, when did you first see these moments, right? Childhood experiences, interactions with peers. Yeah, let's peel some layers back. Go ahead.
So, yeah, man, this stuff in me, I think, came out early, right? Like as a kid. So my dad, my biological father, who's no longer with us, he committed suicide on my 5th birthday, right? And it's crazy because for a long time I felt like I was missing something. Like, man, I was robbed of. Like, even when I was getting married, I remember sitting in my basement and saying out loud, and I didn't even know I said it until I was like, oh man, I just said that out loud. I was like, bro, you supposed to be here. Like, I'm supposed to be able to call you and be like, hey, bro, let me get a band tour song this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need a couple racks on something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need help. Like,
that's real. Yeah.
Like, or just, you supposed to be here. But my dad gave me something, man, that is literally the reason I am where I am today. That's the reason I'm a doctor. It's the reason I'm as successful as I am. I remember, this is one of probably 3 memories I have of him. Shout out to Muskegon for all the people that know Scribs. You had Scribs?
No, but shout out to Muskegon. You gave him a shout out. Yeah, you shout you out.
Scribs pizza, you gotta have a Scribs. You like thin crust pizza?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And the people in the audience, we ain't gonna shout out who in the audience, but they like thin crust, so we gotta get it. Okay.
So we used to, if I did good in school for the week on Friday, he would pick me up, take me to Scribs. I could get a personal pizza, eat it, whatever. This particular day, pick me up from school. Everything's like it is, right? And we get to the table, and he get real serious. And I'm like, bro, what's wrong? I did good today. Like, what we talking about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's
happening? Got my pizza?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. And he got real serious, and he said, don't you ever let anybody tell you who you can or can't be. You my son. You got my blood running through your veins. There's nothing you can't do. Don't ever let nobody limit you. Anything that you want to do, you my son. Like, you got this. You can do whatever you want to do. And it's crazy because in my adolescence, that came out in various different ways. Now, right? Like, I'm young. I do something I ain't supposed to do. I'm talking, my daddy said I can do whatever I want to do. My daddy said, like it came, growing up, I'm channeling it, right?
Yeah.
But really, like, that seed was what I was supposed to get from him. Yeah. Like, there's, times where I have thought about, like, man, maybe my dad wasn't supposed to raise me. Maybe I was just supposed to get that. Right. And then other men come along and, you know what I'm saying? Make sure I get the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like that stuff started coming out early. And like I always had this passion for helping people. Like even as a kid, like we'll be at school. Somebody don't got something. Hey, bro, you can have. I got an extra belt. I got whatever. Yeah. Like I remember being in school, man, and this guy was getting talked about because his shoes had holes in them, and I had an extra pair of gym shoes in my little locker, and I gave them to him. My mom was ready to kill me, but you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So this passion and stuff started coming out at a very early age. Like I just wanted to help people get unstuck, and I didn't know how to say that other than saying it like that. Yeah. And I mean, that has translated through grade school, middle school, high school, all through college, right? Mm-hmm. And then now in my adult life, if you ask me, Shaq, what I do in layman's terms, I help people get unstuck. That's it.
That's real. Whew, so Dr. Shaq, you were dropping some nuggets, and we're definitely picking them up. Hopefully y'all are picking these up, because whenever people take time to talk about their experiences, what they're, are aware of now, like they're leaving blueprints, they're leaving nuggets. Yeah. And I've learned as I'm growing in my wisdom is that means something. Whenever people take time out to invest and talk about things that are impacting them, you have to listen. So I thank you for sharing this stuff, because this is really good. Let's shift the conversation a little bit to like black men, because I think that has become a reoccurring topic in a lot of spaces I'm in. Because when I first moved to Grand Rapids, like my mindset was like, I want to connect and be around black men that can support and assist me. And you were talking earlier about, mentors and men that have been in your life that have been very impactful. But can you talk a little bit about this notion behind it's hard for us as black men to get together, support each other? Like, talk a little bit about that. What do you think about that?
Loaded question, right? Like it's a hot topic, right? As black men, I feel like it's so imperative for us to learn how to do this, but there are so many things that get in the way, right? We're intimidated, we're jealous, we're envious. We don't want to share the spotlight. We don't want to, and the sad part about it is, because if we did come to, like, every black man is one voice away from where they're supposed to be. Yeah. Right? Like, if you think about any generation, they're one voice from the next level. Right? Yeah. And so that's why it's so important for black men, because the plight of the black man been so strong forever. When you think about the history, right? You go back in time. Oh, my daddy wasn't there. My daddy wasn't there. My daddy didn't, but his daddy wasn't there. And that daddy wasn't there. And then he had daddy issues. Then they had daddy issues. And now you're going down this lineage of trauma, right?
Right.
And I think for black men, we have to be okay dealing with the trauma. Like, the trauma is what keeps us trapped and stagnant. And then what people don't understand about trauma is trauma travels with you. So you bring that trauma to every space you show up in.
That's facts.
Right? So when we talk about why it's so hard for black men to connect and black men to have real relationship and support each other, it's because low key it's the trauma. Yeah. We triggered. We don't know if we can trust each other. I don't know if I can say this when it's just like, hey bro, look, we need each other. Like, let's stop all the foolishness. Like, I'm here to support you. I want to see you win. You want to see me win. Let's do this together, right? And then you think about why so many younger black men can't do it, because they not seeing the example every day. They don't see it. So it's like, when they see us beefing at each other's throat, talking crazy about each other, trolling each other on social media. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, oh yeah, bro really ain't like that. You know, And so then you can't expect the younger generation to do it, because we supposed to be that voice that gets them to the next level, right?
Right.
And then those that are older than us supposed to be that voice to get us to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hit a point in your life, man, where you gotta know, like, your responsibility, like it goes beyond like your own ambitions at a certain point, and your job is to equip and empower the next, right? And we don't have that in the black community. And black men, I'm ready for black men, for us as black men, to get to a point where we can look each other in the eyes and say, hey man, I genuinely support you. I genuinely love you. Whatever you need me to do, I'm gonna show up for you. You gonna show up for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we need, that connectivity. And when you think about the real, what's underneath that is that if you let black men unite, it changes the world.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I say that, I don't want y'all to think I'm like, because I do believe this the year of the woman. Shout out, listen, the women.
Shout out to our women.
The women killing.
Some of y'all.
But, some of y'all.
No, crazy. Shout out to the women.
But when you think about it, though, the year of the woman is so powerful. But when is it going to be the year of the man? No discount. But like, let's be clear.
Yeah.
That whole dichotomy with black men has always been stripped.
Yeah.
What happens when black men unite? It would literally change the world.
Yeah.
Like, change everything about, I mean, like, I think about the statistics that would be affected.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. How many more kids would advance and excel in school? Right? How many, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think about the black man and just how the divide has always been there. And I'm like, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Because if the black man ever figure out whoever he is, it's dangerous. The most dangerous people in the world are people who know who they are and understand what they're supposed to do.
Hey, so so you hear so many topics. So like even me, like growing in Grand Rapids, one of the things, because people come like, so how do you navigate this space, etc. I tell them like, because now I know who I am, which takes work. I think that's the key. Like in order for us to get to a point to where we're comfortable and confident in who we are, first and foremost, we gotta look ourselves in the mirror. A lot of people are afraid to do that. And not just once, because I think we're conditioned to everyone always telling us who we are and absorbing that. Like I never forget growing up, I was always told who I was. It wasn't until I entered foster care and my foster dad was telling me who I really am and who I could be that I started to look at things differently. And like you said, like, no, it didn't apply at that point, but there were seeds planted. So like he literally spoke in to me everything that I'm doing now.
Listen.
Like that care, that impact, that support, bigger than me. Yes. Like those are things that, again, takes work. Because when I also came here, I seen that the women move differently in this city. They got conferences. They get things done. They support each other. Shirts. I'll be wearing their shirts.
Okay.
Right?
Because shout out to Shannon Cohen.
See, okay. I was slipping that. Shout out to Shannon.
Hey,
all the Shannons.
Listen. Okay. I'm ready for the rock star man brunch.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
So that's where I was getting at, because like there's a group of men that I have met that have meant so much to me. You included, because I remember seeing you at the Rev. And I was new. So I'm just looking at these men here and I'm like, it's dope, but I felt like I really can't connect with them. I don't know, etc. And now look at us, right? Because I had to do work to get here. So in doing that work, I'm like, oh, Dr. Shaq, this my boy. Back then, I'm like, I don't know, Dr. Shaq. But for me,
what's crazy about what you're saying is when we met, I was doing the same thing. I was settling in because I ain't from here.
Okay, yeah.
Like I'm talking about, like as far as being in that space of like I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm new. I don't know how this gonna go or none of that. So that's crazy. Because when we met, we was both in the same. We were both in the same space. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And like even going back to what last year at the conference, the We Matter Now conference, and you dropped jewels. Like our ability to collaborate has been seamless. Yeah. Because like you said, we've done so much of that work. Like we get it. Yes. There's no. We all can eat. We all can support. There's none of that. There's none of it. So again, if you are a man out there and you're in that space, like we encourage you to, like, first and foremost, because he said something about trauma that I don't think we talk enough about in confidence from a black male perspective. Like that in itself is a whole different world that we encourage you to seek support in whatever that looks like. Yeah. For me, what I had to do was I had to strip myself, and this is just me being honest and clear, of all the women that have spoken into my life and hone in the good men that have spoken into my life. Because one thing I've had to learn is there are great men that want to teach young boys to be men, and they have tried to impact me. I never forget my principal. Lyndon McKinley High School, Dr. Carlton Jenkins. He planted so many seeds in me, but it was drowned out by all the relationships I had with women that was speaking other stuff into me because I was a knucklehead. You ain't this, you ain't that. I'm like, shit, I ain't that. Right. I'm not going to be that. So there's a lot of work, again, that we have to do. So we encourage you to continue to do that work. And again, we will have a brunch or maybe a barbecue for men or something. We'll figure out something.
With the brunch. Hey, listen. But I think it's something you saying there that we got to kind of dissect. It's something there. Like, I think there's a keen relationship or correlation between like identity, purpose, and success. Right? Like when you look at the most successful people in the world, they are people who are operating in purpose, but also understand their identity.
Facts.
Like they know who they are. They know what they're supposed to be doing. And so like for me, I've been on a continual journey because I don't think it's like you ever arrive, right? It's like it's an evolution. But just this constant journey of discovery. Like, and what the evolution of Dr. Shaq is and means.
Yep.
Right? Because what I'm doing right now might look different in 2 years. It might look different. It's definitely going to look different in 5, 6, 7, right? But understanding like that pursuit of purpose and identity, it matter. Like, there's so much, what is it called? What's the analogy? Being versus doing. Right? Yep. So, like, we spend a lot of time just doing stuff instead of just being. And so, but when I am being, whoever I am, and out of that being is everything that I'll do. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so, like, even with that, you know what I'm saying? The stuff, when you operate in purpose or when you solidify your identity.
Is all these nuggets free? Because you dropping so many nuggets. Yeah, is this free? Because we can put a little tab at the video.
Nah,
they can pay.
Nah.
Okay, just making sure. My bad.
But for real, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that stuff just come, like the stuff you do naturally when we watch you, bro, in your element.
Yeah,
it's effortless. It don't even take nothing.
Facts,
bro. You not working. It don't even feel like work. Every time you get it, you not working. But that's because your identity is solidified and you in purpose. So it don't even it feel different.
Yeah.
I'm wonder, like, one of my life's goals is to help people get to that point. That's right. As many people as I possibly can. Yeah. And like for the men out there, there was there's this thing I read about life, and I think it's important for men and women, everybody, but for men, for me, it sat me down. Like when I read it, I had to like go outside and sit on my steps for a minute, because it shifted my dichotomy. It says your 20s are your learning years. You learn everything you're supposed to. You learn everything you can in your 20s. Your 30s are your earning years, right? Your 40s are your burning years. That's where you done. You do what you kind of want to do, right? Yep. But then it was something unique about that 50 and up is your returning years. That's when you make good on everything you never learned, everything you never earned, and the stuff you done, right? Like you make good on it. And for me, that took so much pressure off of me, and it gave me a different perspective about life. But then it also, like, what I love about it is every stage you grow out of, you don't leave that stage. You just keep taking it with you. But also it works flip, because I don't want to wait till I'm 50 to start returning. Like my job right now at 30, I'm trying to give as much as I possibly can to whoever. Like whoever call. Dr. Shaq, I need to talk to Bet. Got you. Say less. Dr. Shaq, I'm thinking about this doctoral program. I let him know. I am biased. I'm going to tell you to do it, just so you know, because I believe in education. I value that, right? Like, so, that's real. But that for men out there who are struggling and like, you like, man, well, what if I'm already 50? I feel like I ain't got nothing to return. That process is ever going, right? Like you 50, you still got to learn as much as you can. You know what I'm saying? 50, you still got to earn. You know what I'm saying? Now, you probably can't burn if you ain't got nothing. Don't burn nothing. Now. Don't burn nothing if you ain't got nothing. Don't, hey, don't do that. But you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. It is I'm committed, especially to black men in general, men of color, period, men everywhere. My life's goal is to make sure I can help them live in purpose on purpose. Like, if I can help you get inch closer to that, I've done my job. Because once you get to that point, it's over with.
So again, you dropping nuggets. Let's hone in a little bit closer into not just black male identity, but like black fathers, right? Talk to me about being a girl dad. Tell me about that life.
It's one out of all the things that I'll ever do, and being a girl dad, being a dad in general, is an honor that I wear humbly grateful. I love my little daughter. She run my little world, right? Me and my wife, she run us, and it's true. We know it. But being a black father, man, it's so much stuff that people don't see.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that Black fatherhood has been used as a mechanism to strip male identity, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Right. Like, there's, I don't know, this touchy, because for me it's like the Black man is supposed to pull things from what he doesn't have. So it's like, oh, you ain't do this. Do we got it to give? Right? Does he have it?
Yeah.
Right? I can't tell you how many times I was in Meijer swiping my card knowing I didn't have the money. Trying to buy diapers. Trying to buy wipes. Clothes, formula.
Yeah.
Right? That's the stuff don't nobody see. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Black fatherhood is something we gotta talk about, because I think, to be honest, that's where a lot of the healing will start. Like, a lot of us got daddy issues. Let's be clear. My daddy went there for me, so I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to. Yeah. And it was crazy because, like, it's like the dichotomy shift is, well, if you didn't have him, that should make you want to be everything that you can possibly be to yours, right? Like,
yeah.
And so, but it really, we gotta heal that.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta talk. Like, hey, I get it. It hurt not being able to talk to Pops. Not like, why he don't want to be around. And then what that does is, what does that do? It chips away at your identity.
Yeah.
So a lot of us are grown men, like in age and in stature.
Yeah.
But we little boys mentally and
Facts.
emotionally. We're little boys who then go have children.
Mm-hmm.
And we're little boys trying to raise little boys and little girls.
Facts.
And then, because we don't deal with what we got to deal with, those little boys and little girls run the risk of becoming the same little boy, little girl adults.
Yep.
Who got to do the same thing. And now the cycle perpetuated, and we looking up like, man, what happened?
Facts.
It start with fatherhood, because mothers will nurture you and they will love you. Mm-hmm. But your dad is going to solidify that identity. Period. Your mama gonna love you, nurture you, teach you what's right. She gonna be the soft. Your daddy is gonna be the one who says, this is who you are and this is what you do.
Facts.
They see you. But this is why the household is so powerful, because you need both. Mm-hmm. Because for those of us that are Black men who were groomed and raised by strong women, Black women, right? We then are so emotional that we're emotionally driven, because all we got was, you gonna be all right. Then you a mama's boy. Or, in some rare cases, dad was there and dad didn't offer that other side. So it's like, man, I just feel like that man hates me. Or you grow up and you're just super hard.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You super hard and you feel like you got to be this macho man, because that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. And I think that was me getting my son. So I had my daughter when she was 3. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't even know how to adjust emotionally to supporting my daughter.
Yeah.
Because there were so many things that I would see, and I'm like, for example, hugging. I didn't grow up hugging because my family never hugged. Yeah. So there was moments where I'm like, do I hug my, like, it was weird for me to adjust to that. So that was a huge adjustment for me. But then when my son came and lived with me, I was always taught, like, men gotta be hard. Mm-hmm. So I never forget one time, and, I don't do this no more, so don't be trying to come with me. I'm disciplining my son, throw him up the stairs. Up. Okay. I know. Usually, you go down, but he went up. I'm like,
you kind of strong. You strong.
But at that point, I realized, I say, I am trying to parent you from a place of anger, hurt, like all these things that I had never addressed that was coming out in that moment. So people to this day, they be like, you don't whip your kids, blah, blah, blah. I don't discipline my kids in that way, because that was a way that I don't think was a foundation of like care, support. It was a foundation of like, let me get this energy out because I'm pissed off at the world. And that's for me personally. So that's like how I'm driven. But what I do now with my kids, like even my son now, because my son, like, he's a touchy person. He like to hug and all that other stuff. So again, I had to shift. Yeah. So I had to literally channel what my foster dad was helping me do, which is like better understand my kids too, better understand myself, so that we can develop values, principles, because those were things I was missing. And then let alone going to different households. Now kids are kind of like, okay, I operate this way, that way. So I'm like, hold on. Now I got to really connect with the parents to better understand what are the values there, so that we can kind of have some bridge. Are you about to go to your mom's house? This is what you do here. You don't do that at your mom's house. Let me call up mom. This is what I'm doing here. So my level of wanting to be a better co-parent had to increase.
Oh, absolutely.
Which means that communication had.
Absolutely.
So I look at it now.
And you can't create difference in household because kids gonna take advantage of it. It gotta be a unified front every time. Because if I know I could do this at his house, but I can't do that at her house, I'm gonna
be blaming.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Daddy let me do it. Like, okay, don't do that, son. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
It's things like that has really helped me take parenting to another level, because the other thing is shout out to parents who are trying to figure it out. Like, first and foremost, because I never believe that there's a clear, defined way to raise your kids beyond the values and principles that you set, the philosophies you set in your household for your children. Yes. Because then once we teach them that and that identity, right, they go out into the space and they should be foundationally secure enough to learn how to navigate and operate the things that we may not have been able to expose them to in the household. So like, again, people come to my house, they be like, your kids did it. Yes, because I am helping them and exposing them to things so that they can learn how to manage themselves in different spaces. So like parenting and fatherhood is something that like I love, and I also love to be around people to do it. Yeah, I can honestly say this. I am not around no father that ain't taking care of their kids. I don't talk to them. And it's not out of disrespect for them. I just don't know how to reach them because I am so prideful in how I am handling. I don't want to convince you to be a father beyond you seeing the love that I have for my kids. Yeah. And again, that's just me.
Yeah, and I mean, I struggle with men who don't. Yeah. Especially if your excuse is my dad wasn't there. Yeah. What you doing then? Like, and it ain't, I don't say that like I'm not empathetic. Right. But it's like, yo, break the cycle, break the curse, put it into it. Because what you don't defeat, your kids have to.
Okay. All right. There you go again. I'll send you a couple dollars, man.
Nah, bro. What you talking about?
Because, man, what you dropping right now.
Facts. Yeah. What you don't kill, your kids have to. And 9 times out of 10, by the time we gone, we never talk to them about that fight. Yep. So they fighting an uphill battle on something they don't know nothing about.
Now, speaking of that, because I know we've been chatting it up, and again, we know these podcasts can go for days, so we're gonna invite you back. But in the spirit of that, one of the things that we know a lot of people in our generation are fighting and killing is the financial factor. Because a lot of us grew up saying our parents didn't teach us or blah, 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 like all those things. And people have to get past the blaming parents part.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to, because even them, they can be like, our parents didn't teach. So again, that, perpetuate that same cycle. And I just sum it up like this.
Hey, they did the best they could with what they had.
Yeah.
Period. Like, the blaming of the generation thing is done to me. Like, you did the best you could. Yep. Respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, did I know? No, but you didn't either. So guess what? We
didn't know.
Okay, we in this. We all in this together. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we have to get past it. Like, man, the day people can just sober up and say, man, look, I'm good with what happened. Mm-hmm. I'm good with what didn't happen. Right? Like, because at the end of the day, a lot of us carry stuff towards our parents and generations before them, and we weren't even there. We don't know.
Don't know the context. Don't know.
You have no idea. And the truth is, like, even if we felt like better decisions could have been made or should have been made, they did the best with what they had.
And our kids gonna say the same thing about us.
Period.
I never forget my mom used to say, like, try to explain to us all these things. I'm like, whatever. And I got older and started raising my kids, and they started asking the same question. I'm like,
But she say, just keep living.
whoa, yeah.
Keep living.
The things that make you laugh and make you cry. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, oh my God. That's facts.
All those analogies are true.
So
Listen,
it's things like
all
that.
of them.
Shout out to all the generations, all the parents out there. Continue to do what you got to do. But also, I think here's the key. We should no longer, as parents, say we don't know something or how to do something.
We in the information age.
Information age.
Everything is at the tip of your fingertips.
Resources, villages. I used to call it the proud parent effect. And what I mean by that is sometimes as parents, we get too prideful to reach out to people, to, access resources, because for whatever reason, those things can change our household. Those things can change our mindset. So for people who are no longer wanting to be prideful, like, you don't know what that can do for your kids in the future. So again, shout out to my mom. And this is one thing that she'll say. She was so prideful in being a single parent. She didn't want nobody to talk about her parenting. She kind of kept us close.
Yep.
So I wasn't really exposed to a lot of different things. So when I grew up, I didn't know how to engage with them. And I'm not blaming my mom now. But what I'm saying is, even for myself, when I recognize, like, dang, Dondrea, you don't really know how to tap into your empathy and emotional side, you have to go talk to people about that.
Yes.
So I went to fatherhood groups. I talked to men that I seen, like, dang, like, you really involved with your son on an emotional level. What makes you do that? I sat down and had conversations like this in private, but now I'm bringing it public.
Period.
Right? So it's things like that where I'm like, Dondrea, you can't always live in pride, right? Because that pride is going to impact your parenting, which, again, is going to impact how your kids absorb that pridefulness. Look, did I do the little?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
This little bit, I want $1.
We
No,
gotta put the tag. We gotta put the tag at the bottom, and that's so powerful because, man, pride will have you looking a fool.
yeah.
Pride to have you hating on who you need to be learning from. Pride to have you out here in a silo for no reason. Yeah. Like, man, there's so much that goes on with pride, man, and it's like the Bible say, pride comes before the fall. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's facts.
And then it's like we take pride in the wrong stuff.
Okay.
Like, you know,
let's tell on ourselves. Okay,
like, yeah,
that's real.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, you was proud you threw your son up the steps a little bit. You was like, yeah. No,
Yeah, I was like, I kind of was. I ain't gonna
like,
be no
hey,
more.
I really
I'm like,
did that.
Yeah, I throw him up.
Nah, but
now
like,
he only 20 pounds, but okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. But no,
y'all
like,
better not.
Like,
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we good. We not gonna. He's a great father.
Amazing father. Son, where you at? Come on down. No, I'm
give me a hug right now. But no, like that pride thing is, man, it's I mean, we that's a whole nother conversation, because that pride that we have keeps us literally in a place of stagnancy. Yep. I'm too prideful to ask for help. I'm too proud. Like, think about what would have happened if you didn't go to those groups or you didn't have those kinds. Like, yeah, you holding your own self up. It ain't that you ain't got people around you, but pride will keep you from tapping in to stuff that's in your reach. Yeah, that's the crazy part. I never want to be that person. I never want to be too prideful to say, hey, like, if I'm struggling with money, Dondrea, come help me. Help me. Like, don't leave me out. Like, I'm not too prideful to say, hey, look, I'm struggling with such and such. Like, let's like, I need, like, guide me through it. Yeah. Right? Like, we don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have that mutual support. We don't have that mutual mentorship. Right? It's like, yeah, you defeated this, but I defeated that, but we both can help each other in that space. You know what I'm saying? In different space. Like, that's the magic right there.
And for some reason we glorify the struggle, right? And again, I've had to learn and be aware of how I speak and how I talk about things, because the struggle can be used as a way to encourage people. Mm-hmm. But then sometimes the struggle becomes this like philosophy. Yeah, that we're like, oh, we got to keep struggling to keep, like, we're used to the struggle. It keeps us going. Because I used to say that to myself. I used to be like, shoot, I see myself about to break through a ceiling. Let me create a conflict. Let me create chaos so that I can keep struggling. because I'm so used to that. So it's things like that where, again, like, I thank you for coming to this space and, taking the top off on that. But we're going to jump into the, we got these Let's Talk Money cards right here, right? And we're bringing this to the show because we here to talk money. We're here to talk money. Just a little second, though. Money. Yeah, so here is one card. Now, if you're like, hey, I don't know, then we'll pick up another card. Okay. All right. So let's talk money cards, and we're going to be selling these soon. So y'all better invest. But the first question is, what are some online tools and apps that you use to manage your money?
That's a good question. So for me, I tap in with my bank. So like I bank with Chase. Chase has changed the game with this like wealth management tool where it breaks down all of your expenses out of your account, like in a crazy way though. Like it show you, like it'll tell you, like it'll analyze it for you and tell you like, oh, you spent too much money on, like you spending a lot of money on, you know what I'm saying, Popeyes. like nah, for real. It's a game changer. Like I just got hip to it because I didn't know it was a part of like, y'all. I mean, it literally tell you like, yeah, you spent a lot of money on, you know what I'm saying? Like, or you ran up a check at Foot Locker. Like, you probably want to chill next month. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I just, tap into my bank. Like shout out to Chase. I'm for real. Hey, facts. Bro, it'll tell you like, hey, yo, you spent a lot. And like, that's without you even putting in, because you could put in your budget stuff. Like, here's how much on the budget a month. But like, even without that, bro, that's what make the thing so cold. Like, it'd be like, yeah, nah. Yeah, today you went to Savvy Sliders like 3 times. Like, you probably want to chill. You hit Savvy Sliders 3 times this week.
So shout out to the online app because I think that's another thing we have to start normalizing is having conversations about helpful and useful things that we are picking up as people that other people should consider. Yes. And then especially if they're free. So most banks have apps and online tools that we can use. Even if we don't know how to use, right? We just got to tap into them.
We got to ask.
Because what they do is they allow you to become more aware of your habits and behavior. So even if you like, yeah, I'll probably go to Popeyes a lot, you don't know the dollar amount that is costing you, which means you don't know where you can invest that at. You don't know where, because typically when I talk to people about money, like, well, I just can't cut no expenses. You went to Popeyes how many times?
How many times? Listen,
go half the time, right?
Listen,
yeah, just go half the time. You ain't gotta go every time. Just get 1 piece. You don't need 5 piece.
Listen,
you don't need the spicy.
The other cool thing is it tells
you don't need the biscuit, strawberry biscuit, because it comes with a biscuit already.
Yeah, it do.
Unless you sub them out for them strawberry. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, never mind. I take that back.
And did you have like the little cake, the little cold cake? The strawberry cold cake.
I'm going to Popeyes after this.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not going, bro. I can't do it.
That's real. That's real. Accountability. That's good.
What I also love about the app though too, it tell you what your net worth is.
Okay.
Like, it'll calculate that. And I'm like, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. Like it'll like all you gotta do is put in your social, and it'll tell you like all your stuff pop up.
I need to get an account for Chase. Yeah, I've been holding back.
Just make sure I get that referral though, because that's
for real.
I get like $250.
Okay, well after this,
okay. Just put my name down,
because that's another thing we've been talking about is like, do people know their net worth, right? Do people know how much liability, right? The expenses, the debt, and all those things that you have, right? Minus your income and things that you invested in, which are your assets. That equals your net worth. Net worth is becoming more and more important because it's connected to wealth and what you have the ability to pass forward, right? I think that's the key. Some of us can only pass forward our debt.
That's it.
But then some of us are aware of us not having much to pass forward, and we can start to change that now.
Change it.
So again, thank you for sharing that, because I think that's a huge connecting, especially being able to talk about money, because a lot of us struggle to talk about money, but this is in a productive way. So not only imagine if us as black men can get together. Imagine if we can get together and start investing in stuff, start passing things to our families. Like, it's so much more when we get together. We got a purpose, right? So again, we had you here for a long time. And you've dropped some great nuggets, and we're thankful for it. Wow, but at the end of all of our podcasts, we allow one question that could be asked to me. I don't care what it is. I'll answer it. And if I can't answer it, I'm like, Shaq, you better choose another one.
Choose another question. All right, cool.
Go ahead.
All right. So you have how many kids?
Is that the question?
No.
That's enough. You only get one, Shaq. You get one question, Shaq.
I haven't got to my question. It's a reason.
Shaq.
I'm getting to my question.
I got 10.
10.
And a possible.
10 and a possible. Okay.
Yeah.
That boy over there playing spades, ain't he? So, woo. That boy, hey. Boy got a hand over there, dog. That boy finna run a board on us there. You know what I say? Hey. All right, so look.
I'm done.
No, you good. That wasn't my question, but I asked for a reason. Like, for real, though. Like, being a father, I know it's important. Wow. Okay. No, for real. What would you say as a father is your most, like, what are you most proud of? Like, what is one of your, like, top accomplishments as a black father?
Man, I would say, honestly, having my kids all together communicating. I grew up in a household with 6 kids at the time before I ended up going into foster care. And there was a point where I felt like we had synergy. We protected each other, all those other things. And then that was stripped away. And then when I usually see siblings, all of them ain't getting along. Mm-hmm. They're not really communicating. Yeah. Oh, I don't talk to them no more, or they do this, etc. But whenever my kids are all together in one space, communicating, having fun, planning our family trips and paying for it, I'm like, the work it took to get there. Yeah, man. Like you said, people don't see how many phone calls, how many text messages, how many times my minivan got to be up and down the road to make that moment happen. And then to be able to see it, because first and foremost, it's hilarious to see that many personalities in one space. Because that's one thing about a kid. They're going to have their personality is pure. It's going to be out there. But the beautiful thing is what comes from it, because now I'm planting seeds for them to be able to have that in the future. Yeah. There's no, oh, well, Dad spent this much time with you and we never got a chance to connect. It's like, no, we got a group chat. Like, I do my best to communicate with the parents. Yeah. I keep my kids together because there's no reason as a father, I don't care how many kids I have, I can't control their ability to be healthy from a behavioral standpoint, mindset, and all of those. Like, I'm so driven to do that. I literally drive 4.5+ hours to make sure my kids are together. And everybody be like, you do that? I've been doing that all my life. Because I don't care. My kids will have a different type of life because every kid deserves a dope father. And shout out to William Braylock, because that's his organization. So I used his tagline. But yes, every kid does deserve to have a dope father.
Oh, that's dope, bro. Proud of
so speaking of that, see, that's what I'm talking, man. Dr. Shaq, I knew this was going to be a good one. So like, so good to where I thought he was going to walk over here. He was like, man, I could walk there, but I'm glad he drove because we had him here for a long time. We had him here for a long time. But again, thank y'all for checking out the Count the Cost podcast. We're going to drop some clips and then drop the full video. Make sure y'all follow us because we are bringing people to this couch and they're dropping some nuggets that they probably dropped in public. But then these are conversations that sometimes we have in private that we're bringing to the public. Take notes, man. Have fun. Anything else you want to say, Dr. Shaq, before we leave?
No, man. Just glad to be here. Thank you for having me. And
yes,
y'all
sir.
Stay tapped in. Stay locked in. I'm looking forward to the next one, man. Thank you.
All right. Peace out, y'all.
Yeah.